This video is the next part of my 1 year in the Netherlands series, and in this video I'll be talking about how I found a new church and how I was able to make new friends 1 year being in the Netherlands. At the start of this series, when I said something about church and friends, I got comments like, "You've never talked about you having friends in the Netherlands." So people were like, "Oh, so you have friends in the Netherlands and you never mentioned that in any of your videos." Well, here is the video where I finally talk about how I've been able to make new friends and also how I was able to find a church. So on one Saturday like that, I went online and I was looking for churches close to me using Google Maps. I found a couple of churches. Some of them were like 1 hour away, and I was like, ain't no way I would be waking up 1 hour earlier than I'm supposed to on a Sunday morning. I found another church 2 hours away. I'm like, even worse. And then I found this church called C3 Imagine, which I currently worship with, and they were just like 27 minutes away with public transport, and with a bicycle it's like 10 minutes away. So I'm like, okay, let's try out this church. And then I joined the church, and now I have been more than a year in the church. I joined the church, and the first thing that stood out to me in the church was community. I found that community, I found that love, I found that empathy, that compassion, group of people who want to be more like Christ, who want to grow in their spiritual lives. The pastors, everybody there were welcoming, and that really stood out to me. And that wasn't all that stood out to me. I also went to their website, c3imagine.church. I think that's the domain. When I went there, I could see the design so simple and beautiful, and the design was also in lowercase. Like most of the sentences began with lowercase, and as a lowercase person, that really stood out to me. So I've been with the church. After a few months, I joined the production team where I do media, projecting lyrics on screen, announcements on screen, Bible scriptures on screen. It's been nice. And then a couple of months later, I even joined the worship team. So now I have that privilege and opportunity to stand before people and lead people in worship, singing beautiful, amazing songs, amazing gospel, and amazing worship. So yeah, that's how finding the church has been for me. Now, making new friends. When it comes to making new friends, that was also a big concern for me. While I was in Nigeria, I used to stay indoor most of the time, most of the week, most of the months. I'm just indoor. I only go out to get groceries and food stuff, and I'm back home. I had very few of my friends in Kwara State, so it wasn't like I was hanging with my friends a lot. So when I came here and I was still living that whole indoor life, I was like, how exactly am I going to make friends like this? I'm not the kind of person who goes to parties, to clubs, who goes to some sort of events just to network with people. I wasn't really a social person, but I think now I'm a bit more social. So that was a challenge for me. But when it comes to making friends, thanks to the church that I found, it made making friends easy for me. In the church, they have something like a group where, group of people come together. It could be group of students, group of young adults, group of married men, group of married women, group of elders, just group of people. They come together. Being in this group of young adults, similar people who are in their careers, I was able to make friends from this group of people from the church. And I feel like a good number of my friends right now that I've made in the last 1 year actually came from the church. But I also made friends in other ways. Like I remember when I first came here, and then there is this guy who is a very good friend right now. He reached out to me on Twitter and he was like, "I see you just relocated to Netherlands, we can hang out sometime." Thankfully, we even have birthdays like very close, like I'm 16th, he's 17th. So we got to meet and we have been good friends ever since. And then through him, I became friends with some of his friends. It's not just even this guy, even Gift, whose videos I watched before coming here, finally getting to meet her in person. So there has just been this whole, one person, you have a gathering, you see all the person that this one person knows, and then before you know, you become connected to some of these other persons or few of these other persons. So yeah, that is how my whole finding a new church journey and making new friends in 1 year in the Netherlands, that is how it has been. It's been pretty exciting, coming from a point where I was scared of how I was going to achieve this, to being at the point where I'm like, oh, I'm really thankful for the church I have. I'm really thankful for the friends I have. So that's it for this video. I'm still not done with this series, so there's still a lot more things I want to share about my 1 year in the Netherlands experience.